Hi, first grade. It is Miss Owens, and I am going to go over day 44 with you. Our office hours are from 9:15 to 10:15 and 1:15 to 2:15. All right, so we're going to go over day 44 math. You want to share a rectangular piece of paper with 3 new friends. Get a piece of paper, fold the paper into fourths a different way from day 42. Cut the fourths apart, write your name on 1/4 of the paper, and write your friends' names on the other 3/4 of the paper. Draw a picture of the fourths in your math journal or on a paper. So an example, I did a square and I broke it up into 4 parts. I am Miss Owens, so I have my name on here, and the other 3 friends I'm going to share my paper with. I'm going to share it with Miss Donahue, Miss Plunkett, and Miss Hireman. Next, you will complete the Envision practice pages for day 44 on page 8. So for your solve and share, Mary's blanket is divided into 2 equal shares. One share of the blanket is yellow and the other is orange. How can you describe the share of the blanket that is yellow? Draw and color the blanket to the right to show your work. You'll draw your picture over here and color it in over here. Visual learning revised. Miss Rose's curtain is divided into 2 equal shares. She dyes 2 shares red and 2 shares blue. Color the shares to the right to show how Miss Rose dyed her curtain. So you're going to color it in here with crayons or markers. Now below, use words to describe Miss Rose's curtain by completing the sentence stem below. Miss Rose's curtain is... So there's your sentence starter. Just finish it after you have colored this in. Guided practice. Pete makes a purple and yellow flag. The flag is divided into fourths. 2 shares are yellow. The rest of the flag is purple. How many of the shares are purple? Draw a picture of the flag and fill in the sentence frame. So if you don't have enough space here to color and draw, go ahead and do it in your math compositional notebook and then answer the question here. So blank out of blank shares are purple. Now for independent practice, try to do this on your own. Tracy's pizza is cut into halves. She eats a share of pizza. How many shares of pizza does Tracy eat? Tracy eats blank out of blank equal shares of pizza. Number 3, Mia cuts her sandwich into quarters. 2 of the shares have cheese. What share of the sandwich does not have cheese? Blank out of blank equal shares do not have cheese. Now, for reading, you have an optional video for day 44 that goes over the lesson. So you are going to read or listen to the article, What Does School Mean to You, on page 13 and 14. You're going to think and talk about what do the people in the article say about their schools being like a community. How is your school a community? Write about how Christopher and Jack describe their school community. Okay, so here's the article. If you want to go ahead and pause and read the article, you are welcome to. If not, you can listen to the video and it will read the article for you. For day 44, what does school mean to you? How is Christopher's school like a community? So remember to go back into the article and look for Christopher and what he says about his school and how it's a community. Your sentence starter is, Christopher's school is like a community because. You need to use a sentence starter because it is expected of you to write a complete sentence with a capital letter at the beginning and a period at the end. Your second question is, how is Jack's school like a community? Remember to go back into your article and find that information. Your sentence starter is, Jack's school is like a community because. Now, if I go back, I can go back and find Christopher and what Christopher says. This is where he talks. This is where Christopher talks about his school. And then Jack says over here. Okay, so make sure to go back in the article and figure out what they say about their schools. So for an example, I said that Smithfield is like a community because we take care of our school by picking up trash outside during recess. If you have good Give plenty of details and remember to use a complete sentence. I have a capital letter and a period at the end of my sentence. Word work, you have an optional video for day 44. The link is in the description below and in your daily dojo message. For word work, you are going to create a tree map. You are going to write IE and IGH at the top of each section. Sort your cycle 24 words by writing them under the correct spelling pattern. Read each list of words out loud, and you're going to look at the word list on page 20. So I've given you an example of how you can set up your tree map. I have IE over here with some examples like tie, pie, and then I have IGH over here for might, flight. Okay, you have an optional activity of trying to find other words that have the long vowel sounds spelled with IE and IGH. Look in a book or look around your home and add them to your tree map. See how many you can find. For science, the topic is tin foil boats. Forces are pushes and pulls. Have you ever tried to hold a ball underwater? The ball will push up to the surface and float. The water will actually push on the ball, causing it to stay on the surface and float rather than pull to the bottom and sink. Today, your activity is to create a boat that will hold the most cargo and float. You can use any resource that you think will float. For example, tinfoil, paper, plastic, clay, even a lid for a jar, a large bowl, water, towel, and some type of cargo, so pennies or paper clips. Using your resources, begin experimenting and designing a boat. Test your boat by placing it in the water and adding the pennies. One at a time. The minute the cargo begins to pull the boat under, stop and count how many pennies you have used. Try to improve your design to hold more pennies. So for example, here is a picture of an example of a tinfoil boat with pennies. And that person has it in a big bucket of water, and they're counting how many pennies until it starts to sink. You can use any resources that you have at your house. So some of those was paper, plastic, a lid for a jar, tinfoil, whatever you can find. And then you can use paper clips, pennies, maybe even Legos as a type of cargo to weigh it down a little bit. At the end, discuss with a caregiver. How many pennies pulled your boat to the bottom of the water, causing it to sink? How did you improve your design? So did you change the shape of your boat? Did you change how big it was? What did you do to improve it? And then these are your specials for this week. That is all for day 44.